All right, so you're ready to play the ukulele. Awesome. You're probably gonna need a ukulele.
There are lots of different opinions about what the best ukulele to get is. You could save lots of time and just buy my personal recommendation, the Makala KA-15C. But that might not be the right thing for you. So if you don't just want to order my recommendation, the Makala KA-15C, here's what I'll be covering in the video. You'll learn about the 4 sizes of ukuleles and how to decide which one is right for you. You'll learn why aesthetics are important when you purchase a ukulele, even if you don't think the look matters to you. Obviously, picking a ukulele in your budget is important. I'll give you tools and suggestions to find the best ukulele for you without breaking the bank. Make sure you buy from a reputable dealer with a great return policy. There's nothing wrong with sending a ukulele back if it isn't the right fit for you. The more you know, the better you'll feel about your decision. Knowledge is power! Watch the rest of this video, watch some other videos, take notes, and feel free to ask questions. Let's go!
Picking the right ukulele. What is the right ukulele? Picking a ukulele is difficult. It's really overwhelming. You type ukulele into your search engine and thousands. How do you know what's good and what to buy? There are a few factors in picking an instrument and really narrowing down that enormous list. We can start narrowing that down by first talking about what size ukulele. Aesthetic. You're going to want to like to look at the instrument. You're going to practice more if you think, oh, this is so pretty, I just can't stop playing it. But it's also got to sound good, so there's a balance there. And then, of course, the price. With the price is going to come different brands, and these are all elements that are going to come together that are going to help narrow down your choice of instrument. Let's start by taking a look at the ukuleles that I have, and we'll figure out where to go from there. This wasn't the first ukulele that I ever got. It was the first ukulele in C tuning that I ever got. My first ukulele was a baritone ukulele, which is the biggest of the ukulele family. It's tuned like a guitar. It feels like just a mini classical guitar, just with the 4 strings. It drew me in, the F-holes like you'd find on a cello or a violin. This is a soprano ukulele. This one is a Kala, same as my tenor. This one is the KA-15S. I picked this up because I was teaching a ukulele group back in New Hampshire, and I wanted everybody to have the same instrument, and I wanted to be teaching on the same instrument that everybody else was going to be playing. I ended up choosing this one because I really thought that it was a solid instrument, especially for the cost. It stays in tune pretty well. It sounds pretty decent, you know. Yeah, it's a nice little piece. It's kind of the standard of what you would expect when you're thinking of ukulele. It's got that ukulele sound, right? It's got that... So that's what you're going to get out of a soprano. The tenor, the bigger one, on the other hand, is going to be warmer. It's also got this longer neck. We've got the soprano, and it's got the short neck, and then the tenor there has the bigger neck. It's got the longer neck, so we've got more frets. It's got a bigger range. So if you want to do some crazy solos or something, you could do it on one of these pretty easily. It's going to be a little bit harder to make that climb up the neck to some of those higher notes on the soprano, but the soprano, again, it has a very particular sound. If you're looking to sing along with something, this is a way to go. The tenor, the bigger one, so the longer neck allows me to do more like solo-y stuff and chord melody stuff. Let me show you. It's got a bigger range, and you might not need that. The biggest thing about picking a ukulele is picking what's right for you. And what's right for you isn't necessarily going to be right for somebody else. There are plenty of times that I've picked up some really nice instruments, and they just weren't the thing for me. It just, didn't have the right sound that I was looking for, or it just didn't feel right. So we've got our soprano. we've got our tenor. So we've got the little guy, and we got the big guy. But there is one that comes between these two. Now, I happen to have one. It's called a concert ukulele. So this right here is a concert-sized ukulele. And as you can see, it happens to be shaped like a banjo. It is a banjo-lele. So it is a ukulele with the body of a banjo. So it plays just like a ukulele, but it's got a banjo sound. Very fun, very neat instrument. But let me just show you the comparison between the sizes here. So I've got the concert here and the soprano here. So the concert, as you can see, it's got a longer neck. If this was a traditional body instead of the banjolele, it would look a lot like this, just a little bit bigger. The banjolele is going to be a little bit smaller than the tenor. The tenor's got just a slightly longer neck. Again, if the banjolele was a traditional bodied instrument, it would be a little bit smaller than the tenor. So smallest, we have the soprano, and then middle, we have the concert, and biggest, we have the tenor. Maybe you know what kind of sound you want. Maybe you know you want to play like Hawaiian bluegrass or something like that. So you know that you want the banjolele. Great, you know exactly where to go. If you want that really Hawaiian sound, you're definitely going to want to start off with a soprano ukulele. It's really going to capture that sound. If you're not sure, if you want to do a little bit of everything, you don't really know what kind of thing you're looking for, I would highly recommend going with the concert size, the middle size. It's going to give you the best of both worlds. It's a little bit bigger, so it'll still have some of the brightness of the soprano, but it'll have a little bit more warmth of the tenor. It's a really good one to pick if you're really not sure. We're going to talk about price, because the price is going to be different. If we got the same model of the Kala in the KA-15S, and then we went to the KA-15C for the concert, or the KA-15T, the same ukulele, those three different sizes, the cheapest is going to be the soprano, then the concert, and then the tenor. Just the sizes, the difference in material means that the bigger you go, the more the instrument is going to cost. Before anything else, when you're shopping for a ukulele, you want to make sure that you get the thing that feels the best to you. You could be walking in, just don't look any price tags, and you might pick up that $3,000 ukulele. I mean, somebody at the counter is probably going to say, hey, you know, do you need any help with that? Because it's expensive. Just pick up anything that catches your eye and start playing it and see how it feels. Now, I know that, like, you know, especially when you're just starting off, it's really difficult to know, like, is this what it's supposed to feel like? I don't know. You know, your fingers aren't, you know, ready to do all the things that they need to do. People at a music store are going to be really helpful in finding the right thing for you. It's their job to find the right thing for you and to sell you an instrument. So they are there to help, so use their help and listen to what they have to say. Pick out whatever instrument catches your eye. If it looks cool, pick it up, and the first thing that you can do is just strum the strings open. And right there is a C6 chord. And that's going to give you a decent sense of what the instrument sounds like. And maybe that sounds great to you, maybe it doesn't. You know, a really inexpensive ukulele might have some weird buzzes. Like you hit the strings and one of them is going and that might be a flag. If you don't necessarily have a good ear for these things and you don't feel like you can make that decision on your own, bring a friend. Somebody bring a musician friend who can hang out with you and say, oh yeah, that sounds really good, or I don't know, maybe let's try this one over here. I know not everybody is going to have access to a musician at all times, but if you've got a buddy who can go along with you, I highly recommend that as well. All right, so you strum those strings. Nice. Okay, let's say that this is the one, and all right, this just sounds beautiful. And maybe the clerk at the store like shows you how to play a C chord, where you put your finger on the 3rd fret of the string that's closest to the floor, and then hit all those strings. Oh, and you just played you just played this chord and oh my gosh, this instrument is singing to you, and you look at the price and whoa, $800. I'm not ready to spend $800 on an instrument. Why did Ross tell me to just pick up anything and make me fall in love with this $800 instrument? You want to pick up that thing. You want to find what feels really good, because once you know what feels good and what sounds good, then you can start looking at price tags and looking for something cheaper, because now you know what the good thing feels like. So you can start looking at the things that, okay, that's $90, and you can pick that up. Okay, it's not exactly the $800 one, but this sounds okay. And, just go through the store and, consider your budget. Buy the best thing that you can on your budget. You can always upgrade later. Clearly, I do that. Once you know what sounds good to you and what feels good to you, you can hold on to that knowledge and find something in your price range that feels good. Aesthetics are actually really important too. I said, pick up the first thing that catches your eye. This might not be the best sounding ukulele I played that day. There may have been a ukulele that I picked up that was the same price, that sounded just a little bit better than this one, but it didn't look like this one. Now, part of what drew me to this one was the look of it, and it seems like kind of a silly thing to consider when you're purchasing an instrument. Like we're talking about quality. We're finding something that's going to sound good, and that is true. We want to try and find the thing that sounds the best, but we also want to pick up something that we're attracted to, because that's going to help us commit to the instrument. If I just had an instrument that I just thought was the ugliest thing in the world, it would just sit in its case. I wouldn't want to pull it out. It could sound fantastic. You have to like the way your instrument looks, or else you're not going to be as likely to play it. Again, I know that it sounds kind of silly, but it's a really important thing. Now that comes to when you find the thing that looks great, but it sounds not great. And then what do? There was a ukulele that I found. I can't remember what the store was. It was one of those record stores / clothing stores / pop culture stores. On the East Coast we have Newbury Comics. It was something like that. And I found this ukulele, and it was a little yellow soprano. It might have been a Makala or Mahalo. Those are both budget-minded ukuleles. Typically you'll find them in the $50 range. It was a cheaper ukulele, and don't take cheaper to necessarily mean bad. But this particular one wouldn't really hold its tune. This one was cheap in the derogatory sense that you may have inferred. But it was beautiful because it was like this, and it was all yellow, and instead of just a normal sound hole like this one, it had a smiley face cut out of the body, and that was the sound hole. And I was just so enchanted by this little thing. I just had it in my hand, and I just kept tweaking it and trying to make it stay in tune, but it just wouldn't stay in tune. So there are two things that you can do. You can learn to let it go and find something else cool that has unique sound holes that will sound good and make you happy. But sometimes the instrument might just be defective. Even when an instrument is mass-produced, it's still made out of wood. It's still glued together. Even if the instrument isn't completely handmade, each piece is unique. The grain of the wood on every instrument is going to be slightly different. When I was teaching on these, last fall we ended up buying 40-something of these. They're all the exact same. They all looked exactly the same, but some of them had some weird quirks to them. Some of them wouldn't quite stay in tune. Some of them sounded weird when you started going up the neck. That is going to happen especially with these lower-priced instruments. The quality control just isn't there. They can't really justify it. But what you can do is you're playing it for a couple days, and it's man, this sounds weird. Take it back. If you buy it on Amazon, send it back. Musician's Friend is a great resource. They have a great return policy. Send it back. One of my students this past fall found a Fender ukulele. Looked like a Fender Telecaster, and she was in love with it. She was like, oh man, this is so rad. I'm gonna look so cool playing this thing, and she did. But she wasn't happy with the feel. She loved the look of it, but when she was playing it, it just did not feel right. And she kept sending it back and getting another one and sending it back and getting another one, and finally she got one that, like, okay, this is all the stars aligned, and this ukulele is beautiful, and I love it. I did the same thing with my guitar. I have a Fender Jaguar. That's a pricier guitar in the world of instruments. You're getting up to that higher tier, and these things still happen. I played one at a guitar center in Massachusetts, and it was perfect. It's like, yes, I love this. When I get back home, I'm going to order one just for me. And I got back to New Hampshire, and I went to my local store, Manchester Music Mill, and I ordered it, and I played it. I'm like, this feels wrong. We ended up reordering it several times before one came in that's like, okay, yeah, this feels right. This is great. There are so many manufacturers making ukuleles now. Kala has been around for a long time. They're very prolific. They make a lot of ukuleles. This one, when I got it, it was like in the $400-ish range, $350, $400. I saw one used, maybe it was on reverb.com, going for like just under $300. So this is that lower mid-range price point, which is a really sweet spot. You can get something good for not a whole lot of money, that'll take you pretty far. And of course, the Soprano, as we said before, is also a Kala brand. This one was $50 or $60. Again, I'll have the link to this one in the notes below. But yeah, in that range, it's under $100. You can usually get it with a bundle, so it'll come with a bag and a strap and some picks if you want to play with picks and a tuner usually. So you get some accessories with it to get you going. And it's still going to be under $100. There are some other brands that I saw packages like that for. I believe Oscar Schmidt has some packages. Donner is another company that makes ukuleles that have some neat little package deals on Amazon. Definitely worth looking into. They're well rated. I haven't gotten to play one yet. Ibanez actually makes some interesting, some really nice sounding ukuleles. So Kala makes a very wide range of instruments, everything from, again, like the $50 price point, all the way up to pushing $1,000. You're going to find some really great, lesser expensive things from Kala. Even when they are making those budget models, there is a bit more consideration that goes into them. Okay, so one that I think is really rad is the Dolphin. Now, Kala has Fender has Squire. That's their less expensive models. They're kind of like introductory instruments. Well, Kala has Makala, and the Dolphin series is one that I'm really fond of. So the bridge is the shape of a dolphin, and it's really cute, and then it just come in like lots of bright colors, yellows and blues and pinks and so forth and so on, and it's just got a little dolphin shape on the bridge, and it's really cute, and they're surprisingly good. Like, again, especially when you start getting into the higher end instruments and your nose starts turning up a little bit at some of the lesser models, you might pass those Dolphins by. It's like, oh, that's a kiddie thing, but they sound pretty good. Same with the they also make sharks. They make dolphins and sharks, so you can take your pick your animal. I'm still waiting for a rhinoceros. When that happens, please let me know. Another one of that caliber, the Dolphin caliber, would be the Waterman. So in the same price point, in the same family, are the Makala Watermans, and these are really cool. They're usually just a different brightly colored. They're all made of plastic, but they make clear ones, so you can get like green clear plastic ukulele that you can play and you can also see through, and they are really, really cool. And again, like, you're looking at $40 or $50 for these things that are cute. They play pretty well, and they're durable. These are excellent instruments for kids and klutzes. Your 5-year-old is excited. They're ready to start playing, but they are known to just, like, toss their instrument around when they're rocking out because you showed them that Who DVD and Pete Townsend did this. And so I've been focusing on the Kala brand and the Makala brand, but there are other really, really great ukulele brands out there. Luna makes some really, really cool looking instruments. They make guitars as well. A lot of guitar companies are now making ukuleles, which is really neat to see. Martin has been making ukuleles for years, and if you can afford a Martin, try it out. They're really nice. But Luna is a more budget conscious brand, and but they make some really pretty ukuleles, really pretty designs. There are a lot of moons and stars and stuff like that. Really, really snazzy. So Oscar Schmidt is another company that makes the rounds on Amazon. As you're browsing, I'm sure you'll see a number of packages by them. They are favorably rated. They were one of the contenders for instruments that I was going to bring to the group class this past fall. Lanakai is another well-known brand. Hurricane is a brand that I've been seeing floating around lately. I'm interested in trying some of those out. They're popping up on my Instagram feed and stuff like that. So again, there are just so many companies making ukuleles, and that's why I really urge you to get into stores and get your hands on some of these instruments, because that's going to be the best way to find out what is going to be right for you. And you might discover, like, some unknown brand, or at least unknown to you. I've stumbled upon things that I've never heard of, and I pick it up and I play. I'm like, wow, this is fantastic. I've never heard of this company. Where are they from? Don't be afraid to pick up the cheapest of the cheap, and don't be afraid to touch the expensive stuff. You might have to ask someone for help to let you try it out, but getting a sense of what's out there. You're never gonna know what every instrument feels like and plays like, but you want to sample as much as you can. And what's more fun than going to a music store and just sitting around for a few hours and just trying out every instrument you can get your hands on? It's a pretty good way to spend a Sunday afternoon. Best of luck. Please tell me about your ukuleles in the comments below. Do you have a favorite ukulele, a favorite brand? Do you have any questions? Like, did this not help? Did I miss something? Please ask me. Tell me, give me questions, and I will answer them for you. I love talking about this, and I love getting to buy instruments vicariously through my students. So please tell me what you want, and we will figure it out, and we will find the right instrument for you. There are other things that you could tell me in the comments below. I don't know what they are. I mean, try to be nice, please. Nice is good.